Did Devon Franklin try to change Meagan good? I just realized I don't have my rings on. Because, you know, I don't need y'all starting to talk about me and Mike having problems because I don't have I got my rings on, especially because I'm going out. But I'm hearing a lot of talk, especially in the, you know, feminist I am woman groups and just all over YouTube and Facebook and groups and stuff, singles group, talking about, you know, Devon Franklin is controlling and he was trying to change her and he couldn't change her. So then he left her when he realized he couldn't change her. Do you think he was trying to change her? I think so. I think so. This is all assumptions. And my husband said, never make assumptions. Okay, but you know, he's in sales and marketing, child. He said, never make assumptions, but you can assume, because why would he marry her? Right? Why did he marry her? By his own confession, he said, she was everything I did not want. He said this. He said, Meagan was everything I didn't want. She was an actress. She smoked. She drank. She really wasn't, you know, a believer. But she said, God said, and I was like, hold up, Lord. And then he said, okay, Lord. And somebody, I'm giving you credit, you said in my comments, maybe that was a test. Come on, somebody. I know that's right. That spoke to my spirit, because when I ran from Mr. Kryptonite, I met my husband like 2 years ago. And I really believe if I had failed in the bed with Mr. Kryptonite, I would have missed Mike. I would have missed him, because I would have been so entangled with Mr. Kryptonite that I would have missed Michael. So what y'all think? Do y'all think he was trying to change her? Happy Monday. I know I'm late, girl. I am late, but girl, I woke up this morning. Me and Lexi, we were supposed to go get our nails done because I'm home this week. Lexi program is closed this week. She go to 2 programs, and the other program called that they're closed until the 2nd week in January. Sweet baby Jesus. And then, girl, Big Mike's on top of, he don't feel well. Girl, he gonna take some medicine and go later. I said, we're Essex County. Go, I was like, Go on there. Go on down to Essex, Mike. Mike. Go on down to Essex County and go get you a test. Because, you know, these days, people not feeling what he said. I think it's just a cold. I said, no, we can't assume it's a cold. These days, you can't assume it's a cold, right? You cannot make the assumption. I say, you've been home for a couple of days. You've been home since, we've been in the house since Friday. Wait, did I go to work Friday? No, Friday was a holiday, right? We didn't go out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We've been in the house since Thursday. So I said, you know, just go on down there and get you a test. And, you know, you get it back in the next day. And I say, you know, choose one of the rooms you want to stay in. You want to stay in our room or the guest room? He said he'll stay in the guest room. So I had to clean up the guest room, aka the baby's playroom, y'all. If I ever show y'all pictures of that boy make a mess in that room, so I had to clean that up so he could come home and lay down. So he got home and he's in the guest room, and then I'm going to take the kids out for a couple of hours so he, you know, he could just rest because he's tired. And thankfully today he didn't have to work on the computer today. So that's a good thing. But anyways, that's why I'm late. But I just wanted to come on real quick and talk about this. And then later I'm gonna try to do Ready to Love on Allegedly Jan, because I gotta get Allegedly Janice up and going. And of course, remember, Kimberly Reviews, we're trying to help her to get her hours. But I wanted to come on and talk quickly. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I know a lot of the religious people over here mad, okay? But you know what I'm going to do next year? I'm going to celebrate Christmas in the summer. Jesus was actually born in the summer. December 25th was just a day that was chosen to celebrate his birth, okay? So you should have gotten this in your email. If you didn't, comment below that you did not get it. This is a sample of this book that will be coming out January. I got the final cover today. She needed to edit something again on it. And so you should have gotten that. And of course, thank you for your love and support with all the books that are on sale. Thank you for those reviews. Thank you, Married already. The Naked Wife is almost at 100 reviews. So if you have picked up this book, please run over to Amazon and leave me a review. I think I'm at 98 reviews. When the book gets to 100 reviews, Amazon starts to push it themselves. So that's why they're pushing 23 Types of Guys You Might Meet, and they're having their own sales, which is why this book is $19.99. Okay. Thank you for your love. So real quick, do you think he was trying to change it? Of course he was. Of course he thought he could. Why would he marry her? Why would Devon think he could marry her? And of course, he had to say all the things that that he needs to say. No, I wasn't trying to change her. I accept her as she is. No, you didn't, sir. You lie, not being in the church. Okay, let's just go ahead and put it out there. Okay, not being in the church. And the Seventh-day Adventist brothers and sisters are on Facebook, and they're talking about it. They said, child, and they're even stricter than the Pentecostal folks. And I didn't think anybody could be stricter than Pentecostal / holiness people. I just didn't think it was possible. But the people in the Facebook are saying, girl, they're worse than the holiness. I don't think the people there, I can't imagine anybody being worse than the holiness people. But anyways, I think he thought he could change her. You know why I thought he think he could change her? Because, ladies, and I wrote about it in 23 Types of Guys You Might Meet, because men are saviors. Okay, men want to save their women. They want women they can save, and it's not really a bad thing. And I'll just use me and my husband for an example, because remember, husbands, I'm trying to find her picture. Husbands represents Christ in the earth, right? Marriage is a picture of Christ and the church, right? Marriage is a picture of Christ and the church. Okay, this is not acceptable in any church I know. None. Not the white churches, because, the white people, they're a little lax. This is not acceptable in no church. None. Okay. It's not acceptable. So, of course, he married her thinking maybe he could influence her to change. I'm going to come back because somebody may send me a message. And she said, Janice, do you think she was the naked wife? And I had to think about it. I've been thinking about it for a couple of days because I was trying to see how I can flip it. And I emailed her back and said, I'm going to do a video on Meagan being the naked wife. And so I thought he probably married her thinking he could change it. Because, again, especially being a minister, a reverend, and especially in the Seventh-day Adventists, this is unacceptable. Hate me, like me, agree, disagree, it's unacceptable. Don't say you're judge, because a whole lot of y'all talk about judge, y'all don't even know what that means, okay? We make judgments every day. Okay? So men, husbands are saviors. The problem is a lot of these men want to save women who can't be saved. And of course, now they're talking about Ciara and Russell. She's out here twerking on the beach, and now it's all about her and her twerking and stuff. It's not so much about family and all of that stuff. And I don't have any marriage goals other than Christ and the church, but I love Russell and Ciara because they remind me of me and Mike. And people are thinking that Ciara is going down that road, and of course that other couple that allegedly has an open marriage, which allegedly I'm going to be talking about that on my other channel. But I do think there's a lot, and I wrote about it in here about men trying to be saviors. The problem is a lot of these men want to save women that can't be saved. They marry women, like he said, she was everything I didn't want in a wife. I don't know any preacher. I don't know any man of God who marry a woman and don't want them to be participating in church with them, especially when you've been in the ministry, so on and so forth. Okay. And so even though he defended her at that event when the woman was telling her about her dressing, he had to. If he didn't defend her, I would jump on his behind, because that's your wife. You're supposed to defend her. Okay, you are supposed to defend her. You don't sit back and stand back and let nobody attack your wife. You defend her. Now, I might talk to you about it in private at home, but in public, you supposed to defend her. Stand in front of her and take a bullet if you have to. This is why y'all don't marry no man, child, that don't want to die for you. Why? Jesus died for the church. Okay. But a lot of these men, and I want to do a live, and probably I hope maybe tomorrow night, because I'm home this week, about why a lot of these church men don't want church girls. I did that video on it. You know, they want what is called in the Bible forbidden woman. Women, you shouldn't be married. A lot of women marry men who are forbidden. But a lot of women marry people who is not what they want and try to change them. I'll use me and my husband, for example. My husband's a good guy. I mean, came from a good family. Parents been married. Daddy provided. When mom started having kids, she said, I'm ready to have kids. She stopped working. Dad take care of them, pay the mortgage, send them to school. Good, wholesome family. Nobody's perfect, okay? But good, wholesome, send the kids to school. Everybody's educated. All of those things, okay? And so when I met my husband and talked to him, I'm like, man, he is a good guy. Like, why are you not married? Which makes no sense, because then he wouldn't be talking to me. And he said, you know what? I've never met anybody I wanted to do all that I'm doing for you for. This is after we married. I'm talking to him. He said, all that I'm doing for you, all that I do for you, I have never met a woman I wanted to do that for. And he's always told me I was smart, because when I met him at the networking event, I was networking my first book, Praying for Our Children, which I'm going to do a reprint on for 2022. And he always told me, he said, you're smart, and I love smart women. So when I was writing 23 Times to Guys, I went back to him and I said, Mike, so tell me again, why did you marry me? You know, good guy, good job, good money, good house. Well, townhouse. I told him I didn't want to stay there. You know, so he bought me this one. And so he said, you know, when I was out there and dating and looking for a wife, he said, I didn't want a Kardashian. He said, I like smart women. He said, you don't have to be like Condoleezza Rice, but you got to be a Michelle. Okay. I said, oh, those my girls. I love them. Condoleezza, Michelle, I got their books right up there. You see Michelle? You see Sister Michelle? You see Michelle up there? Look at Michelle. I love Michelle. You see her? It's Michelle right there, right? Love her. Love Condoleezza book is up there too, but her book is a little bit small. He said, I love smart women. You know, you don't got to be smart like Condoleezza, but you at least got to be a Michelle. I said, oh, okay, Michelle. Oh my girl. He said, you got to be sexy like Janet. He said, you sexy like Janet, right? Because when I met him, I had on a dress like this, nothing like that. Okay, well, first of all, I would never do that unless I'm on the beach. Okay, sat right on my legs, on my knee-high boots, and some fishnet stockings. My hair was in my waves, and I had dangling earrings. And he said, you know, I like a sexy woman. Hello, church ladies. He likes sexy women. He said, you got to be sexy like Janet. He said, you sexy like Janet. When I met you, I was like, oh, she's so sexy like Janet. My husband loves Janet Jackson. I actually told him, you know, I was going to get him tickets to go see her, but then COVID happened or something like that. And so then he said, and you're a good mom and you're good with kids like Mary Poppins. Girl, he said Mary Poppins. And the first time he met my daughter, listen to this, almost 6 months after us dating, he said, does Lexi like Broadway plays? I said, oh yeah, she loves Broadway plays. He said, well, I'm going to take us to go get us tickets to go see Mary Poppins. And that's the first time he met Lexi. Lexi loved him. Okay, so you see there, men have in their head this vision of who they want. He was looking for Condoleezza Rice, Michelle Obama, Janet Jackson, Mary Poppins. That's all me. Okay, now would it look like if he marries somebody who wasn't smart, okay, who wasn't motherly, who wasn't good with a home, who wasn't sexy, and try to turn them into who he want to be? Because my husband goes to a very good church. His pastor is his frat brother. Pastor's a lawyer. I mean, it's the biggest church in our cities. Okay, one of the first Sundays I went to visit with him, their offering was $30,000, and the pastor stood up and said, "What's going on? The offering is low." And I looked at Michael. I said, $30,000, and he talked about his law. He said, "Yeah, if 30 people give $1,000, that's $30,000 right here." I didn't think about it. Because all the big wigs go down. Big wigs go down to that church. Okay. And I was wondering, I said, well, there's lots of women in the church. He said I wasn't interested in any of them. And they hated me. That when he brought me to church, we got married, we started dating, he brought me down there, got married, girl, they hated my behind. I mean, hated me. That they would run up, "Hi, Brother Michael." So men, they have a vision in their head of what they want. And instead of them finding what they want, they try to get a lot of women to train them and change them into who they want. And it's the same thing, ladies. We do the same, right? We want to provide a husband, but we marry men who told you he's 50-50 and then argue with him and fight with him in the marriage for him to be 100%. No, you knew that's what he was. And my husband tells me, he said, "I paid attention to you." He said, "When we were dating, I paid attention to how you were with your money." Now, I never had to pay anything when I was with Michael. I offered to pay one time. I took him out for his birthday. And when the waiter came, I took my wallet out. My husband turned red. Y'all see my husband. He's like, Michael, like, he turned red. He turned red at this shirt. Like my shirt. He turned red. He said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." He said, "You don't have to do that." He said, "Thank you. I appreciate it. You don't have to do that." He said, "As long as you're in my presence, you never have to take your wallet out. Never. 9 years of marriage going on. Never. Unless he asked me for change for tip or something." Okay. And so he said, "I paid attention. I watch how you were with your money." He said, because I watch how you were with your money and how you spent your money, he said, "I knew you wasn't going to waste my money." I had a car I paid for $2,500. I had a 1-bedroom apartment. That time, when we met, I might have went up to $750, but before it was $700. I let Lexi have the room. I slept in the living room on the futon because I had a plan. I was paying off my student loans, and I was going through the process of buying a house. When I met my husband, I was going through the process to buy a house. And so when we got married, he said, "Just pay off your student loans." So my first year, 2 years of marriage, everything I made, most of what I made, went to paying off my student loans. He also said, I loved how you were with Lexi. He was like, you never left her. My husband and I, our dates were 2 hours. We've never gone to dinner and a movie. Me and Mike, when we were dating, never, because dinner 2 hours. And most of our dates were at Applebee's. And I've told that story, how he wanted to take me to this very nice restaurant where he proposed to me, where you have to make reservations, honey. You don't just show up. I say, honey, I can't. That's too far. Lexi's home. Lexi was 17, 18 at that time. And in the event of an emergency, I want to get to her. He said, "Well, okay, choose where you want to go." I say, "Applebee's." He said, "Applebee's? Applebee? You want to go to Applebee's?" I said, "Yeah, it's 5 minutes from my house." And most of our dates were at Applebee's. He said, "I paid attention to that." He said, "You never leave Lexi with people." Lexi was 17, 18 at that time, so she could stay home by herself. Our dates were 2 hours. After 2 hours, I was like, "Gotta go." Because, I would leave her for 2 hours and I would run home to be with Lexi. And he said, "See, I like that because, I travel a lot. And when I have my kids, I want my kids to be home. And I want my kids to be safe and comfortable. My little boy is 7 in January 4th. He's never been to a babysitter. I don't believe in sending my kids to babysitters. Only time my kids are out of my eyes is when they go to school. Okay, and we date. People laugh at me at the job. When I dress up, they say, "Oh, Janice got her a day date today." Mike and I, we go on dates when the kids are in school, so we don't have to leave them. You know, I told him all the time, I say, you know, I could just rob you blind and run away with all your money. He laughed. He said, you wouldn't do that because that's not who you are. I said, well, Mike, how you know when you're not traveling, I've got somebody up here? He said, no, that's not who you are. That's not who I married, he would say. Okay, so it is best for you, both men and women, to marry who you want, what you want. Don't marry people and try to change them into who you want them to be, because that's like a balloon underwater that you have to keep on suppressing. Okay. You know me, I don't do girls' nights, but then again, I'm a loner. So maybe that has something to do. I prefer to be home with my kids. I love being home with my kids. I love staying home with them. I love being with them. I love going places with them. I love being with my kids. If I go out, I'm not sitting there wondering, like, Jesus, could you all hurry up and eat this food so I could go home to my kids? Okay, that's why I ride with people. I drive because I hurry up and eat, and I gotta go by. Here's the tip, bye. So, does men marry women and try to change them into what they want them to be? Of course they do. Do women marry men and try to change them into? Of course. Hello, 10 years a girlfriend, girl. He don't told you he don't want to get married, and he ain't ready to get married, and you sitting there thinking you could change his mind. So the best thing is to date what you want. This is why dating is for data. If you meet a man that's not what you want, you drop and you leave. The problem is a lot of people don't know what they want. But if you write it down, because the Reverend said she's everything I didn't want. So why you marry her? Oh, God said, I'm going to give you everything you didn't want. Does that sound like God? Does that sound like God? Watch the video I did. All right, y'all, I got to take these kids out. I love you. Thank you for your love and support. Remember, you were supposed to get this in your email. If you didn't message, comment below, and I'll respond. And this is the book that's coming out in January. And of course, thank you for your continued support with my books. They're currently on sale. I'm going to leave them on sale until the end of the year. And of course, my Patreon. For those of you who love me and want to support my channel, Janice, I got all the books. How else can I support you? The Patreon link is below. Okay, I love you. I have to go. Let me know, you know. And even in The Naked Wife, a lot of men were trying to change women. I'm going to come back and talk about that. Okay, I'm talking about submission, because submission is not what people think it is. I love you, babes. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Be sure to subscribe and thumbs up. Thank you.